All right, Herc, let's change gears a little bit here, because I know in the past there have been those who have been a little bit upset when you, as a former U.S. national team player, have criticized the national team. However, I wonder if you ever did anything like what Ronaldinho has done. So he's come out with some harsh criticism, in case you haven't seen this, for Brazil's national team just ahead of the Copa America. And you're probably asking yourself why. It's all as part of an ad campaign, Herc, promoting a, get this, deodorant brand. His comments, which include a claim of a lack of love for the shirt within the current team, made global headlines. Ronaldinho then claimed that they were reproductions of real posts from fans on social media and that his aim was to motivate the team. Here's the original post, or at least the good parts. It's difficult to find energy to watch the games. This is maybe one of the worst teams in recent years. It has no respectable leaders, just average players for the most part. He went on and included that he wouldn't watch any Copa America games and would not celebrate her if Brazil were to win the tournament. Dino, turning his criticisms into a JK/LOL. Are you cool with it?
No, and this makes me really sad. I'm not cool with it. It makes me really sad because we're all massive Ronaldinho fans, and this guy is a legend of the game, and he's going down a path of like a cautionary tale, and it's so out of character. And for what? Financial gain? Like, what are we doing here? This isn't Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho, I don't know what his finances are like. I don't know what he's doing, but he was just in Los Angeles promoting an arena football game. Now he's doing this for money, speaking ill of the Brazilian national team. And it's one thing if you have an opinion, that's fine. Own it. That's your opinion. But to come out and say, well, you know, I was just trying to get a reaction, backtrack it, and then people find out you were getting paid for it, it's just so off-brand, and it really makes me sad for one of the true legends of this game, a guy that we all grew up idolizing going down this path. I really don't see what he gets out of it besides a financial gain. I fear, and it's heartbreaking to say, that he's tainting his legacy doing so.
You would believe it was part of an ad campaign, Herc, if Brazil was flying and it was out of nowhere. But it's actually believable, the criticisms. Like, you would believe that a person who cared greatly about the Brazilian national team right now, having seen how they played at the end of last year, how they played in some of the build-up games to this, would feel this way. I don't even know that I really believe that he doesn't feel that way. I think a lot of people in Brazil feel that way about this Brazilian team, that it doesn't represent them, that it's not what it was at one point.
That could be the case, but this is so off-brand for Ronaldinho. And if you know Ronaldinho's situation over the years, I mean, he was jailed for passport fraud, and then he's got this situation with his finances, and who knows, his brother who managed him, what kind of road he's leading him down, and now he's doing this for money from a deodorant company to criticize the national team. Like, you could believe it if it was anybody else. I don't believe it coming out of Ronaldinho because that's not who he is. That's not his brand. And for him to come out this way just makes it sad. Now, is there some truth to what the ad campaign is saying? Yeah, there's a little bit of truth here. Listen, this isn't the same Brazil that we grew up watching. This isn't the Ronaldinhos, the R9 Ronaldo, Kaká, Roberto Carlos. This isn't the team that dazzled collectively or individually. This isn't that team. In fact, there's no Neymar Jr. in this tournament. There's no Casemiro. There's no Thiago Silva. Those type of legends are gone. They're not here. Whether they're aged out or out of form or injured, they're not here. You could say generational change if you want, but the change that we're seeing has stunk for a lot of people. Go back to the World Cup where they went out in quarters versus Croatia. No shame in that. That Croatian team who's made a final and a semifinal now. But since that game, 13 games have gone. They've only won 5 games. They lost 5 and drew 3. Those wins, if I can tell you about them, Seb, are to teams that are hurting right now. Morocco's not hurting, but that was their second team. Senegal, Uruguay, the wins are against Guinea, Bolivia, Peru, and Mexico. It's not these positive performances. It's not the same type of Brazil that we're used to seeing. Vini Jr., who's a Ballon d'Or candidate, maybe at the club level, at the national team level, he's certainly unproven. He's played 30 games. He's got 3 goals. It's not one of the best type of wingers in the world scenarios that we've been seeing at the club level. You've got some generational talents on paper who are coming up who could be something but are relatively young and unproven right now, like an Endrick. And quite frankly, their coach, Dorival Jr., it doesn't quite scream confidence. This is a guy who, in his professional career as a first-team manager, has been 26 different stops, 26 different teams, 5 in the last 4 years, more of a journeyman type of coach than what you were almost being sold right before this was the best coach in the world today, Carlo Ancelotti. So this team has been very underwhelming, and the criticism has been very merited.
Quick 10-second answer. Give me the player's perspective. You hear this from a legend. Does it motivate you, as he claims he's wanting to do, or does it knock you down a peg before a big tournament?
A little bit of both. I think it angers you as well, and I think you see it in Rafinha's comments where he's like, that's funny. He was asking Vinny Jr. for tickets the other day. It's a Snyder mark. It's a backhanded kind of comment, but players will take it that way. I mean, you don't like to hear things about your team, especially when you know there's this generational change, when you know you're trying to do something different from a legend, somebody you look up to, and who's often the way he's doing it, because it's one thing if it's his perspective, but he's being paid to have that perspective.
Yeah, now he's claiming that it's not even his perspective, right? At the end of the day, now it's a recreation of fans' posts from social media. So it's like, Ronaldinho doesn't even think that about us. He just retweeted other people's bad tweets. Come on. Not what you would expect from one of the Brazilian greats of the game. There he is, Ronaldinho, getting a definitive, we are not cool with it here on Futbol Americas, if I can stumble to get that one out.